Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Title's a bit unorthodox today. I put chill at the front of it, and that's because today is going to be a bit more chill than usual with the Katawa Shoujo. It's a shame that Katawa Shoujo doesn't have like a shortening that I can give it. Because when I did Doki Doki, I'd always call it Dochi Dochi. Like, that was just, like, the short and slightly silly name I had for it. And, like, with Maple Story, I'd always call it Mapes. Just Mapes. And stuff like that. And it's like, I can't really, like, do a silly shortened name for Katawa Shoujo. I just always call it the full Katawa Shoujo. Like, it's not just not shortened, it's also not, like, it's not a little silly, you know? I don't know. It was just something I was thinking about before the stream started. It's completely random and has literally nothing to do with anything, but I was just thinking about it. Anyway, welcome. We're continuing on with Hanako Act 3. I think Act 3? Yeah, we're on Act 3. We finished Act 2 and started Act 3 on Tuesday. And today we will go even further beyond. But I put chill in the title because I just want it to be chill, you know? Maybe I'll stop a bit more. Maybe I'll just kind of read. If people talk in the chat, I'm definitely there to respond and stuff. Because I'm just reading, you know? I didn't stream yesterday, so I decided to go for a walk, and I went for the longest walk I've ever gone. 4 hours of non-stop walking. Normally my walks are an hour, and I have done walks as long as like 3 hours or like 3.5 hours, but decided to do a 4-hour walk. The distance, I know this means nothing to anyone unless you know the southeast suburbs of Melbourne in Australia. This means nothing, but I went from Murrumbina to Westall and back. Specifically, Hughesdale Station, a roundabout. My house is near that station. To Westall Station and back, along the like bike paths on the side. And so it took like 2 hours to get there and 2 hours to get back. And that's the thing about walking. Pick a place that's far, and then just have enough willpower to get there. Because then coming back, it's like, well, what are you going to do? You got to get back home. If you want to stop walking, you have to get back. Once you've hit that point, you've done the full walk now, because you have to get back home. That's how you do long walks. And just have enough willpower to do half of it, and you'll be forced to do the other half. If you do laps of like a block or like laps of an area near your house, it's like, well, you could just give up at any point then. What if you don't reach your goal, but you give up because you're tired? It's like, oof, I was fucking tired on that walk, but I had no choice. I had to get home. And I got home at like 7 p.m. Because I left it free. Right? Yeah, that adds up. Ooh, okay, we all good. Alright. I also found out that Twitch has a reading aloud category. So, that's a reading aloud tag. Is it a category? Tags are different, right? Or tags kind of like categories anyway. I don't know. It has a reading aloud tag, so I added the reading aloud tag to my stream. I also added LGBTQIA+ like a while ago, and that'll just always be there. I don't know if it actually gets you more viewers, but it seems like it does, and it's true, so might as well. Oh shit, go back. No, I'm not. I didn't read that. Oh shit, went too far. Okay, there we are. No, I did read this, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just read it in my head before ending stream last time. I feel like I have read it. Right, there was something I needed to check, so just give me a sec. We'll get to reading. I just need to check something. Oh, wow. Okay. I was just looking up something else, but I inadvertently saw something about Hanako's route in the beta. Apparently her route was the longest in the beta, having 4 acts already. But it was impossible to get the good end. You could only get the bad end, and the only way to get the good end was to do all 3 Hanako bad ends, then do Lily's route, and go through an optional branch that leads into Hanako good ending. That's some devious fucked uppery right there. Get all the bad endings for this girl, and then do a different girl so that you can get the good ending for the first girl you wanted. Anyway, Muto reads equations and formulas to us one by one in his usual unenthusiastic monotone directly from the book. It's possible that he might be excited about what he teaches us. Sometimes he can display an awkward spark of passion for it, as if he's starting to get into the material. Most days, however, are like this one. What we're covering is fairly simple, so I find it increasingly difficult to keep my concentration on him. It's not too long until my legs begin aching again, which only makes it even harder. I'm almost starting to regret walking around the city yesterday with Lily. Hey, it's me! It's me! Although I actually don't regret the walking around yesterday, but the soles of my feet do hurt. That's about it. After a night's rest, it's like, just the soles hurt. Everything else is fine. Could you stop? I'm dropping mad frames. But I feel like that doesn't fuck up the audio when I drop frames. It just fucks up the visuals, which for this doesn't matter, because it's a visual novel. I think. I hope the audio doesn't fuck up. The audio bitrate's like a different thing, but I don't know if that's also being showed when it's telling me how much data's being transferred. Since leaving the hospital, I've done very little physical exertion. Walking to and from the local corner store hardly counts. Despite Emi's attempts when I first arrived in Yamaku, I've largely given up on the idea of ever returning to my old level of fitness. Oh no, dropping frames on a still image, exactly. That's why it doesn't matter, and that's also why I drop the bitrate anyway. What do I have it as? When I'm doing... Honestly, I can probably go lower. I have it at 1600. Let's try 1400. It probably won't matter much. Yeah, no, it like doesn't matter. And so I go to a lower bitrate because of that. I'm just worried about the audio. That's what my concern is. I don't know if that's gonna fuck up the audio, because if the audio is missing, well, then the whole stream's ruined. But yeah, Emmy fitness route when? Is that going to be the only fitness route? I thought Rin was just a lazy route. I thought Rin was just a lazy route because because Rin's kind of lackadaisical and stuff. But I don't know. It seems like every route you just say fuck it to exercising, unless I guess Emmy you probably exercise because you want to fuck her. But I have little doubt that's why walking around town for so many hours has made me quite so sore. It's depressing and it reminds me of one more thing I can't do since I had my heart attack. It makes me feel pathetic. Now, Ikizawa. It's odd for Muto to ask Hanako a question, but not unheard of. She quickly jumps to her feet, a little startled, and immediately pins her eyes onto him. She knows that Muto calling on her is rare, so all eyes in the classroom are going to be on her. This way, she doesn't run the risk of making eye contact with anyone else. Yes? In this particular example of a... What? Redux? That's not how you... Is that meant to be redux? That's not how you spell redux, is it? Doesn't it have a U? Or is redux also a word? Define redux. Oxidation and reduction considered together as complementary processes. And is redux also a word? It is. Brought back, revived. So what's the oxidation and reduction considered together as complementary processes? Then that doesn't... What? Oh! Right. Because he's science teacher. Okay, I get you now. In this particular example of a redox reaction, the combustion of methane reaction actually produces one more product than is listed. That product is... Even though it's a softball question, she timidly waits a bit before answering, biting down slightly on her lower lip as if to keep her concentration. Softball question? Mate, I didn't even know it was a fucking word. I guess if you're in school, though, and learning it, you'd know that it was a word. I never fucking paid attention in science class. Heat? Hold on. This is an exothermic reaction, with the reaction giving more heat than is put into it. Receiving a nod from Muto, Hanako takes her seat once again and gives a relieved sigh. A shaky start, but it's something. It would be nice to take her out for her birthday, somewhere different from the usual isolation of her room and the tea room. With the process she's made until now, I don't think she'll have much of a problem going to the city. Process? I should have said progress, shouldn't have I? I should have. Oh well. Right then, for the remainder of this class, I'd like you to work in groups of 3 or 4 on the problems in Chapter 12. I'll be here if you need me. Victor sits down behind his desk, pulls some loose sheets out of a folder, and starts on some kind of paperwork of his own. Thought teachers were supposed to do that kind of thing after class, not during it. Dude, teachers can do whatever the fuck they want. Hang on, I need to check something. I should do a Minecraft stream so that if someone comes into my room, instead of muting the mic, I can just go, "Get out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft." For the memes, dude. Gotta do it for the memes. Regardless, I look to my right and pick out someone to form a group with. Given the two smiling faces hovering near mine, I don't think I'm gonna get much say in the matter. Suppose we have a group then. Hick-chan, you wanna work together? Okay, that's great. It's really been a while. Class begins the process of it actually has been a while, but that's only because they didn't show up in the last stream, and the stream before that was like a month ago, or longer even. When actually was the stream before the last one? It was a pretty damn long time. Let me check my stream archive channel. Has the dates in the titles. Where is it? It was 3 weeks ago was when I uploaded it. It was the 15th of... Yeah, so about a month. There was about a month gap of just no Katawa Shoujo, good lord. Before last stream. Class begins the process of noisily shuffling the desks around, with Shizune doing the same as she puts hers in front of mine. She's a little lucky to not be able to hear the din of the classroom, which is loud enough to cause some discomfort. Truth be told, working with Shizune and Misha is probably a good outcome. Shizune and I are pretty good at this subject, and Misha has really nice handwriting. There's always that one person though, when you do group work, like someone writes and you're like, oh well, you have nice handwriting, you write it. And then because they're writing, they don't have to do any of the work, because they're doing all the writing. So everyone else does all the thinking and actual subjecting. Music's a bit loud. I hate how inconsistent the noise is, the volume, the music is in Katawa Shoujo. Like sometimes it's so loud I feel the need to turn it down a little. And sometimes it's so quiet OBS won't even pick it up, and it's just the most annoying thing. It's like, could you just be consistent? Because if I have you on max volume and OBS can't pick you up, there's an issue. That's too quiet. Because I have it on max volume, and then I have my earphones plugged into my monitor instead of the computer, so that I can control the volume of the monitor independently from the volume of the computer. So I can have it on max volume so OBS has the best chance of picking it up, while I don't have to deal with it being max volume. As I look to Misha, I notice a tall figure behind her. The shadow catches Misha's attention as well, and she turns to face the dark-haired observer. It's Hanako. Good afternoon, Hanako. Hello. Shizune finally notices Hanako, after looking up and following the gazes of Misha and I. In quick measure, she taps Misha on the shoulder to get her attention before signing away. Look at her smug-ass face. Shik-chan says if you're looking for a group, you can join ours. Hanako looks down and blushes a little at the offer. Out of all the people in the class, Hanako is most familiar with the three of us, so it's reasonable that she'd come to us first. Then again, her actually coming up to a group with the intention of joining them is something she apparently very rarely did before. She leaves briefly to drag her desk over, and Shizune and Misha wheel back to me as soon as her back is turned. I guess we get to play again, Hick-chan. You hardly ever play with us anymore. I wonder why. You two all seem to have some interior motive. I can speak. That hurt, Hick-chan. I'd almost think you were insulting us. Was that us or me? Me? Wow, that's weird. But it's Hick-chan, so I know you're joking. Such a great sense of humor about it. It'd be awful if someone were to take advantage of your good nature, like making you help them with their work. Wahaha! Wario Misha returns. Shizune seems excited for a second, a little surprised that I'm willing to challenge her. When she sees Hanako coming back, she backs off with a smile. I guess the mind games are over early today. Hanako gently sits down at a desk in front of Misha. Her eyes are locked downwards, and I'm left wondering why until I look around the class. Most are busy setting up their own groups, but a few are casting curious glances at her. At this range, it's hard to tell whether that is where their interest in her ends, or if they are talking about her as well. It's strange. No one bats an eyelid when Hanako runs out of class to avoid group work, but now that she's making an effort, they're staring at her as if she's done something wrong. We all move to sort ourselves out, spreading our textbooks and worksheets around the larger service created by the 4 joined desks. It isn't long before the class as a whole gets down to work. Why am I having such trouble reading it? Should I maybe turn up the brightness? I'm gonna do that. Oh my god. That might help. I'm not sure. Hi Hanako. It's nice to finally work with you. Yeah. You the reason Hikchan has been avoiding us lately? Shikchan says it's a little rude, but if Hikchan wanted to spend time with a cute girl, it's understandable. I don't think it's like that. And I guess that's the fidget, unused to this kind of attention. I think that an ordinary person would drop the conversation by now, but Misha is like an... what? Oh, the antithesis of Hanako. Part of that includes being blind to ordinary social cues, while Hanako is overly sensitive to them. Because of that, Misha barrels ahead with the questions too quickly for me to get a chance to interject and guide the discussion somewhere more comfortable. Really? So, he wasn't hanging out with you yesterday? No. I can feel my cover being blown already. Lily didn't want Hanako to know that we were out buying presents for her, let alone planning out her birthday party. It wouldn't be good for her to find out. Yeah, I was doing something else. You know how it is. Really? I wonder what was so important for Hikchan to blow us off like that. If it wasn't to spend time with Hanako, then what could it be? It's really interesting. Now this is starting to feel like an interrogation. I'm surprised at how Misha is able to exert such a feeling of pressure without actually intending to. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she was intending to. Were you with Lily? Out of nowhere, Hanako manages to stumble on the answer. She may be dreadfully quiet and shy, but she's very intuitive. What makes you say that? Yesterday, Lily said something similar. Suspicious. Hikchan, I demand that you explain yourself. Oh, fuck. Hey, shouldn't we be doing the assignment? Oh, no. This is, Hey, everybody. It's Anime Romance 101. Just make everything a fucking misunderstanding. That's how you keep those romance wheels turning. Misunderstandings. Everywhere. You do an episode, okay? You set up a misunderstanding, and then you just kind of leave it to the side. But you have one or both characters, or maybe three. You kind of need three for a misunderstanding. Have all three of them be confused and thinking about it. But then you cause another misunderstanding, and everyone's kind of thinking about it. And then you address the first one. And then you set up another, and then you address the second one. And so there's always multiple misunderstandings going on. And you can just kind of go back to them whenever you just need a bit of drama. You can either resolve it or make it worse. And then you just do that. That's romance writing 101. You just need misunderstandings. That's all it ever is. But it's so mysterious. Even Hanako wants to know. I turn to look at Hanako. It's true. From the expression on her face, it's obvious that she wants to know as well, and I think we're past the point where I can weasel out of having to provide an explanation. I apologize to Lily in my mind. She really did want to keep it a secret, but now it doesn't seem possible anymore. I feel a rush of conflicting emotions, so jumbled that I can't really identify them, but they crash around in my head as I try to calm down and speak. Oh, damn. He's actually explaining it. I thought he was gonna keep trying to go around it and it would cause a big misunderstanding, but it's probably still gonna be a misunderstanding. Just on a smaller scale than what I was expecting. Hisao intense sweating. Basically. It's like the intense sweating of in Phoenix Wright. Dun 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 Alright, I'll tell you. I went into town with Lily, but it wasn't what you think. Lily and I were, for Hanako's birthday, we were, oh shit, no, he's going all in. He's explaining it all. Cat is out of the bag, but it looks like Hanako is taking it a little better than I thought she would. A brief silence passes around our little group as Shizune and Misha look at each other sheepishly. I can tell that they didn't expect their game to turn out like this. Misha looks up to Hanako in order to apologize, then pauses. Hanako is staring at the middle of her desk and barely moving. A maudlin, I've never seen that word in my life, expression on her face. I guess I was wrong about her taking it well. Hanako, I'm sorry. There's a few seconds pause, but Hanako lifts and shakes her head. It's okay. Her expression looks odd, like she's very tired. That doesn't seem natural, but it's nothing alarming. Nobody really wants to continue with the current conversation, so we open our textbooks and begin our group work. This is pretty dull. While the equations we're supposed to work out as a group will take a while, most of it is going to be boringly mechanical. It also doesn't help that way that didn't go as bad as it could have. It has left an awkward atmosphere around us. Still, we manage. Shizune's face betrays that she has about the same expectation of our work as I do. The two of us begin to write our group's results. Misha, on the other hand, is scrunching up her lips and very visibly trying to make heads or tails of what we're doing. Hanako is looking on quietly, absorbing what we write and what I say. She usually has the same expression when the teacher speaks. It's a shame her attendance is so unreliable. With the way she takes in information, I think she'd do quite well in class if she actually followed the lessons regularly. I wonder if this might be why Shizune seems so hard on her. Hey Hanako, do you understand this? Misha looks to Hanako, but I suspect her hope is more to find a comrade in ignorance rather than genuine help. Not really, I guess. I'm surprised by how tense she is in answering, but she settles back down, she breathes out, and the way her upper body and head lower reminds me of a deflating balloon. You okay? I could go over this bit if you want. Hanako shakes her head slightly, but then again, I don't think she needs the extra explanation, despite what she says. Misha quickly interjects, entirely oblivious, and I end up slowly going through how we ended up at one of our results, step by step. Times like this remind me that this kind of work may not be mechanical for everyone, but rather feels that way to me due to my grasp on the subject. It's a satisfying feeling. As Misha brings her bold fist onto an open hand in realization, I discover another nice feeling. My explanation got through to her, and she manages to work out the next equation by herself with a minimum of guidance. Misha getting smart. Misha smart route. Throughout all of this, Hanako is unusually unresponsive. Wait, was that unusually unresponsive? Okay. She's normally very quiet, but one can still see her eyes roving periodically over the landscape of the classroom in front of her, or anxiously moving her hands in some way, or shifting her shoulders periodically. Right now, these small movements that I've gotten used to seeing are all missing. Someone not moving at all is definitely weird. Even Misha can tell there's something wrong. Hanako, are you sure you're okay? Yes. You sure? I'm fine. A little more strongly this time. Yeah, I was gonna say there was like no stuttering in there. But she turns away as she says it. It only makes me doubt her answer, yet at the same time, I can tell she doesn't want to talk about it further. Having already had one very awkward conversation a day that I'm still not fully over, I don't want to pursue the matter too much either. We settle back into our routine, debating over our answers whenever a doubt comes up. But as time goes on, I notice that Hanako isn't talking at all. It's frustrating, she had made so much progress. It makes me a little angry at Shizuna and Misha for undoing the surprise Lily had wanted to keep secret so much. I know I'm at fault too, maybe I could have kept it under wraps somehow. Shizuna has noticed Hanako's silence as well, and is already getting antsy. I can see it on her face. It's strange that even though she's deaf, Shizuna has perceived Hanako's unusual quietness sooner than Misha. Because Misha's a fucking idiot. Oi, mate, you idiot, Misha. Oh wait, she's about to say something about it. Oh no, wait, she's probably responding to... She's probably repeating Shizuna's signage. Hanako, you're being too quiet. You have to contribute too. Someday we might work on a bigger project, like one that's so big it's worth celebrating afterwards, like with ice cream or cake. If you act like this, we won't take you along. I can tell they're trying to tease her to bring her out of her shell, but I don't think that this kind of approach will work on Hanako. It'll just make her feel worse. Guys, don't tease her like that. Hik-chan, it's all in good fun. Shik-chan says she teases everyone anyway. They do back off though, with Misha moving away from the issue by asking me a question again. And seeing how difficult the problem she was working on is, I don't know whether it was a skillful dodge or mere coincidence. It takes way more of our time than necessary because Shizuna keeps disagreeing with me while I'm trying to explain it to Misha. And Misha is quick to believe her over me. So quick in fact that she forgets to translate what Shizuna is saying. Hey, the clock is kind of ticking down. We should speed up a little. Hik-chan, you sound a little like Shik-chan there. Just because I looked at my watch? Jeez, is that really all it takes? Time management and suddenly I'm the student council president? Oh, whoa, CG. I haven't seen one in a while, actually. Yeah, so haven't seen one for a while. Yeah, because I... Oh, no. Oh? Are we alright? We dropped to 0 frames for, like... more than a second. That was terrifying. I thought the stream was gonna die. How do I... Right, show image. There we go. It's CG, guys. Okay. I say we haven't seen one for a while, but that's because I also haven't played in a month. I look at Hanako's desk to see how she's doing in freeze. Her papers are covered in equation, but Hanako's only halfway there. It seems like she hasn't written anything in the past 20 minutes. She looks very distressed. When I realize that, I want to kick myself for how dumb I've been. I should have known that someone as fragile as Hanako wasn't going to brush off what happened so easily. But I've been too eager to move on from an awkward situation to notice. She's been slowly shutting down for the last half hour, and I had no clue. Dude, it was fucking obvious. Her pen is still in her hand, but she doesn't slowly spin it around like she usually does. There isn't a single idle movement from Hanako. Ooh, now she looks even more distressed. Only the fact that she tries to inch away when she feels Shizuna, Misha, and me looking at her tells me that she is even still conscious. We look away, and, at least in my case, it's partly out of shame that it's gotten to this point. Though on the outside she has shut down almost completely, I know that it's a different story on the inside. What kind of things could she be thinking about as she tries harder and harder to shrink into herself, as if by willing it she could somehow disappear? Everyone is looking at her now, stealing quick glances in between putting the finishing touches on their work. Misha attempts to ask her what's wrong, but that only makes the problem worse. If she wasn't frozen to her seat, she would probably run out of the room right now. Misha's questions are loud enough to be heard throughout the entire classroom, and for a second I'm ready to snap at her because I can only how much worse it's making Hanako feel. Of course, if I were to do that, it would only make the situation worse. I believe that Hanako has gotten stronger, and she has, but it wasn't enough, and I was too eager to believe it. Now, she's terrified, alone in the middle of the classroom, and there's nothing I can do without drawing more attention to her. Oh man. It's infuriating, Misha's words, and even Shizuna biting her lip. None of us know how to deal with the situation, so I decided to call Muto. His judgment would probably be better than ours. I look up and manage to catch his eye, slightly monitoring for him to come over. I want to make as little fuss about this as possible, since if there's anything that would make it worse, it's more attention being focused on her. I know that Hanako can see everyone staring at our group, specifically at her, because they know that if there's a problem, it has to be her. Everyone knows her, and it's the first thing anyone's mind would leap to. Her reputation for being a truant has marked her as an unusual person, even in unusual Yamaku. Who knows how many times they've stared at her before. Maybe it's because she's seen the class staring at her so much that she fears their gazes like she does cowering from them. The time it takes Muto to walk over must be like an eternity to Hanako, and she looks as if she is about to fall over. Muto quietly begins to ask us what's wrong before catching himself as he sees Hanako. Did we upset her? Don't worry. Muto bends down after calming Misha and looks intently at Hanako's face. Hi, Ikezawa, can I help you at all? His voice is hushed and gentle. Everyone's acting so differently around Hanako now that the whole class has noticed something's wrong with her. Hanako doesn't respond, so Muto gently rests a hand on her shoulder. She starts shaking at his touch, but won't even look up. Hanako continues to stare into the equations on her desk, vision so unfocused that I doubt she even sees them. She is worse than before. I remember that not even an hour ago she was able to talk to him almost normally. Muto grimaces a bit as he stands again, and now that his expression's changed, I can see he wasn't exactly unaffected by what happened either. He takes a breath to settle himself before speaking in a very quiet tone. I'm a little impressed at how quickly he takes control of the situation. Well, I mean, teachers have basic, how to deal with developing people skills, and he's at a special school, so I'm sure he got even more training about how to deal with these kind of situations. Is that it? Nothing wrong then? Muto seems to say that to no one in particular. However, his words sound convincing enough that most of the people who were looking over at Hanako now turn away, getting back to their work. He gives a quick glance to his left and right. Several people at the desks around us are still staring curiously, but other than that, we seem to have escaped attracting too much attention. Muto notices me doing the same as him and smiles a little in his usual stilted way. I think for Ikezawa's sake that it would be good to quickly take her somewhere away from others. Nakai, Hakamichi, could you please take Ikezawa, yeah, away out of the classroom? I'll keep everyone settled, so please don't worry about anything but her, okay? He looks at Misha to tell her to interpret his words for Shizune, but she's already finishing his translation by the time he does so. It's remarkable how little thought she needs to sign, as she still looks quite dazed otherwise. Well, I know. I mean, it's just like any other language. Once you know it, you can just do it. You don't really think when you need to speak English or any language really. Noting Shizune and I stand to move to either side of Hanako. Muto steps back to allow us some room and talks to the table behind us as some people there have begun to mutter between themselves about what's going on. We look at each other before lowering ourselves in unison, one arm around each of our shoulders and lifting. Two of us begin to walk at a slow pace to make sure we don't inadvertently hurt her. As much as we try to make this look normal, I'm quite sure there would be many more gazes on us if not for Muto's distraction. Eventually, thankfully, we reach the door and go through. Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway. It doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask if she wants to just sit down. For a while, we simply stay in place and wait for her to say something. Shizune attentively rubs Hanako's shoulders a little, but there's no response. Eventually, she shakes her head a little. When Shizune tries again, both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Shizune's head again comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder as she awakens, her face lifting to two very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while.